I was venting to it. I was like, God damn it, I don't want to clean the snow today. And it asked me, do you want me to find someone? And it actually went on the website, found someone, negotiated the price. And the funny thing is, like, our doorbell is not working. So the guy just entered through like another door. He found the shovels, and without even ringing our doorbell or anything, he just cleaned the snow. And then he just called me on the phone. Hey, I'm outside, I'm done. And I'm like, whoa, that happened.
This is Kitze. He was one of the first users of OpenClaw. While most people didn't even know that OpenClaw existed, he already had 13 agents wired into his life. His calendar, his email, his home assistant, his printer, his phone, his fridge. He plugged OpenClaw everywhere. In this episode, Kitze shows us his whole setup. What works, what broke, what he's building next, and why he thinks people who don't get it are about to get left behind.
So it's like someone is giving you like a god computer that can do anything, and your first thought is like, I don't know what to use this for. It's like mind-blowing to me. And trust me, people will watch this video and there'll be comments, nah, I don't know if this is that useful.
Let's deep dive into the 39 ways you can use OpenClaw to optimize your life.
But I hope this entire conversation sparks something in you, in your life, like, damn, I can solve this, I can solve that, I can start a business I always wanted.
So Kitze, I know that you said that you stop trying to convince people to try OpenClaw. There is people who don't get it, they don't want to get involved in it. But for someone who is watching this video and have no clue about what OpenClaw is, what would you say to this person to convince him to try?
I love how you jump straight into the deep end, no intro, no, hey kids, how are you doing? Everything good on your end? You're like, tell me about OpenClaw, I don't care about your life. I love it. The vibe has shifted around OpenClaw, I think. It's following the natural progress of like everyone being hyped about something and then eventually the hype dying down. And then just the people who actually find usage for it. Those are the only ones who will continue tinkering with it and continue using it, basically. So in my personal experience, there's a lot of LARPing and there's a lot of pretend productivity with OpenClaw, where, for example, for the first time in my life, I was late with paying my mortgage. I missed 3 different appointments. I drove to my veterinarian instead of driving to the dentist, so I missed an appointment there. So it seems like when you're setting this up with like 13 agents and everything else, it would make your life more organized. And the reality is like I'm spending more time on improving my setup than my life actually being fixed. So what I would tell beginners or someone who is actually starting with this is the thought of fixing your entire life at once is going to excite you, but try to fix like one thing. For example, I don't know, managing your calendar or whatever. Because it's funny, like my OpenClaw can do shit like it can rewire my Zigbee lights and peer to Home Assistant, but then I ask it, can you move this event in my calendar? And it's like, oh, sorry, the connection to the calendar is buggy. And I'm like, that misses the entire point, you know? Yeah. Let me know what you wanna know exactly, and I'll try to be more specific.
No, I totally understand you. Like I was telling the same to my fiance the other day because I spent my entire days like trying to optimize everything about my OpenClaw, and then I forgot to actually apply what he gave me. He gave me crazy stuff, crazy content to do, and I forgot to apply. And I think that's what you say. Like you have to be careful about it and apply actually what he says to you.
Yeah.
What is
And
what is your
try to do one thing instead of. I tried when I set this up. I tried to fix everything in my life. Like, let's do groceries and shopping on Amazon and calendar and to-dos and habits. And it's like trying to fix 50 things, but they're all like half fixed, that none of it works. Like when I ask it do something in the browser, it's like, oh, which method do you want me to use? I tried to use this, but and I wish I could just go one step at a time. Like we're doing, you probably heard of Tinkerer Club by now. You'll probably link it and we'll talk more about it later. But we started doing this like challenges, daily challenges in the Discord, that it feels like a gym for our OpenClaws in a way. So every day you try to give it like one skill and to solve one problem. And that's it. You might be tempted to do all the challenges at once, but do one thing today. And then in 30 days, when you look back, you would have done like 30 new additions of like what your OpenClaw can do. And I think that's a much better approach. But when you first set it up, you're excited and you're like, I want to do everything.
Yeah, I think it's like taking it as a new employee in your life. Like you will not say, okay, fix everything. You will go task per task and explain everything, give process. Actually, if we
Yes.
understand, yeah, it makes sense. What is your setup? I know you shared not long ago you was using Discord. You have different channel for like your different part of your life. Like, did you upgrade that? Did you change anything about it?
I like my setup right now is a mess, to be honest with you. I'm reaching the limitations of every chat platform. Like I don't like Telegram. Like I created 10 bots and they all take care of a different part of my life. Take care, they don't do anything for now. But I'm just experimenting like what is the right way to use this tool. Because when you have like 10 bots and then you have like one Discord channel and then you have multiple topics and then within the topics you have threads, you get lost in the who am I talking to, in which channel, in which like it's that bell curve meme of like have one-on-one conversations on Telegram and then you go multi-agent, multi-channel setup, and then eventually you go and you're like, yeah, just have one agent and talk to them on Telegram, and they should maybe shop your groceries and also vibe code your apps. So it's tricky. I've been experimenting. I'm making my own app which talks to the OpenClaw gateway. So it's not like a OpenClaw alternative, but it's like a chat app that talks to the OpenClaw gateway. And what I've done in it so far is you have topics, but you have nested topics, which Discord doesn't have. And a topic can be, for example, home and work. And then within work, we have projects topic. And within projects topic, we have, let's say, Tinker Club. And within Tinker Club, we have Tinker Club landing page. So for that particular topic, I can right click it, edit it, and choose which agent will answer in this topic by default. And I can choose, let's say, my customer support agent will be, or my vibe coding agent will be assigned to this particular topic. So that's part one. Part two, what's cool about my app is you can assign context to every one of the topics. Like you can write a little description. So I can say in my work topic, I can write, hi, I'm Kitze, and this is what I'm doing. I'm vibe coding on many products, blah, blah, blah. You can find them in that particular directory on disk. So that's part one. Then we have projects. So we have work where I describe my work. We have projects where I describe my projects. We have Tinker Club where I have to describe Tinker Club is this platform community, blah, 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 blah. And then we have Tinker Club landing page. And in it, I point to, hey, this is the landing page. This is where it's located on disk. This is what methodologies we use. This is what we want to happen. This is what we don't want to happen. And now, anytime I start a new conversation within the Tinker Club landing page, it has all the context from all the parents, basically. So it knows this is a landing page, this is the description, that's the parent description, that's his project in his work. So now it has like this knowledge tree. It's not like a lot of times when talking to OpenClaw, it feels like you're talking to the void. It feels like it loses all of its memory and it loses all of its context. So you will tell it, hey, fix my Tinker Club landing page. And you're like, huh? And I'm like, motherfucker, we talked about that like 60 minutes ago. How do you forget about it? In my app, like when you click new chat, anytime in the first message, everything is injected. So you know exactly, you know which agent you're talking to, and you know the agent knows which context is it in, so it doesn't stray too far from the thing. So I'm trying to make this work, but inventing your own chat app, like you cannot make it as smooth as Discord. Like once you try to make it, you realize how much work does it go behind doing something like Discord and Slack and making sure that, you know, um, making sure that every part moves smoothly.
Did you fix the memory? Because you say that all the
No.
structure that you say, like you didn't fix it.
No,
I saw a few posts.
I don't even try to deal with my memory because for me, that's like an advanced step that too many people are taking too early. And I think once I have my app that I'm working on, and once I fix that, I know who am I talking to in which channel, then the next step will be solving memory. But for now, I feel paralyzed. When I need to do something, I feel like decision paralysis, or like, where do I dump this and who do I give this to, you know? And ironically, in the first day of OpenClaw, I had it only on Telegram. I was walking my dog and I was so productive. I was like handling customers, doing web research and a bunch of other shit. And now if I want to do something, I'm like, which agent, which channel, which topic. So,
Yeah,
and that's the current state of things, man.
because I saw your video and I saw you on Discord talking to all these guys, and I was like, fuck, that's maybe like the way to do it. And then now you say that, and it's true that I'm just using Telegram and it works pretty well, like talking to one person.
Yeah.
and having all these different agents that are imaginary in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just tell me a little bit more about how you use it daily? Because you say that you used it like for Tinker Club, for your other business. Like, let's focus on the business part. Like, how do you use it daily? What are the biggest tasks that you give and that are 100% right now?
Zero. Like right now, my setup, I went from being super productive with it to being just feeling like paralyzed by, decisions, that now I'm just tinkering with my setup, but it's not doing anything useful. Meaning I have customers yelling at me or like, hey man, you didn't answer me, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And I'm like, how to explain to you guys that my setup is not good enough for me to delegate work in it? Because I had a Telegram bot which was using the heartbeat of OpenClaw to archive my emails. And I had a pretty strict list of what needs to be archived. And in the instructions, I told it, you can only archive things which we agree here. You cannot go on your own and just vibe archive your own things. I read the chat. It's like, you have an offer for an investment in Thinkers Club. And to me, this seems like a cold email. So I'm assuming like a cold outreach, whatever it's called. So I'm assuming this needs to be archived. And it's archiving an email from potential investors. So even if this happens once every 100 emails, I cannot fully trust it that it's going to do the right thing, So I've just turned off the cron job and I turned off the heartbeat. And I'm like, until I am 100% sure and I write the right instructions that this is not going to go off path and do something stupid, I cannot rely on it. So email broken, I cannot fully trust it. I can tell it actually, there's a difference between you telling it to do things specifically and it doing things on its own. So I'm more in the camp right now. It's like, I want to give it specific instructions on what needs to be done. And in that case, it can do stuff for me. Like, for example, I can tell it, read my Twitter DMs. There was someone who wanted to sponsor Thinker Club and they put like their company information in there. So I can tell it, read my Twitter DMs, find who wanted to sponsor, go to my accounting platform, create an invoice, and send it to them via email. But this is a very specific instruction, because if I'm a bit more vague and if I tell it, check my DMs and figure out the invoice, like it's God knows what it's gonna do. So I have to be very specific. Read the previous few messages, find the ones that's talking about an investment, use the Infact platform. So I cannot tell it, make an invoice, because it's gonna invent its own way of doing invoices. So I have to tell it, use the Infact platform for doing an invoice. And then I have to tell it, use the GOG or Nihilus integration for sending an email to them. So it feels like talking to my 2.5-year-old, I have to be super specific, because if I'm vague, it's going to do something stupid. So that's where it's useful for me right now, that I don't have to click through 5 different interfaces to copy the thing and do blah, blah, blah. When I give it specific instructions, it's super useful. If I let it run on its own in the background on a heartbeat or on a cron job, it's a dumbass and it's useless.
I feel like the honeymoon is dead with you. You had the honeymoon phase at the beginning where everything is beautiful, and after you lose his memory and you lose hope in it.
Yeah. I think the honeymoon phase with this project is like, and I've said this on Twitter, it doesn't matter who owns it at this point. It doesn't matter if it's OpenAI. It doesn't matter if Claude does their own thing. It opened our eyes of how the future could be. And right now, if it's dumb and the memory is dumb, it's up to me to fix it, because it completely relies on markdown files. And I cannot blame Sam Altman. I cannot blame someone else. It's like completely up to me. I can even fork it and improve it on my own. Or like I can give it the right instructions and the right setup to actually be smart and to remember things. This is what I like about this project, that I don't blame anyone else that, oh, agents suck or blah, blah, blah. Like I have fully the power to make this either super powerful or a dumbass. And I think that's what is overwhelming about this project. Like, the potential. You know that if you give it the right tools, it can actually click through the apps and the browser and do everything for you. But when it doesn't, like, it's very fucking frustrating, because you're like, oh man, I know you have potential. Why don't you do the thing?
Yeah, and I know exactly his feeling. Like the first task that he did was optimizing my podcast website. That's the first thing he did. And the other day I was like, can you go on my podcast website and do it? And he was like, I don't have the link to your website.
Yeah, exactly.
You built it. Like that. You're the guy who gave the idea, you built it, and you forgot it. So yeah. That's
Yeah,
frustrating.
that's incredible. It is.
Yeah, when you say that, the idea that come in my mind is maybe like build SOPs and on paper on something, and like instead of saying do that, do SOP one, like do this process, and then this process is written, and then you always go to the process, read it and do it. Probably use a lot of credit, but maybe the only way to
Yeah.
do it.
So I have a solution for this, and this is why I started building my own app for this. Is there's a concept of skills that are injected in the first prompt, right? And then the agent chooses which skill to use. And there's the concept of commands and like slash commands. Cursor has slash commands. I think now Claude and Codex and everyone else has slash commands. So your thing that you're saying about the podcast needs to be converted into a slash command. So sometimes you need a skill. A skill would be managing my podcast, where you would actually describe where is your podcast, where does it live, blah, blah, blah. But even then, you might need to pair that skill with a slash command that's like upload the latest episode of this podcast. So a slash command would just be a very tight, specific instruction written in Markdown about what exactly do you want to happen. So I think people rely too much on chatting with it and hoping it's going to do good. But I think what you need to do is every time you do something successful, you either convert it to a skill or you convert it to a slash command, or you make a mix of both. So in the future, you have this SOP which you can easily repeat instead of just vibing it every single time. So what I'm doing in my app is and what Discord and Telegram and the others don't have is you can add things. So when you chat with a bot, you can mention a skill, you can mention a slash command, and you can mention another bot. And I'm working on adding like a knowledge base, so you'll be able to mention your knowledge base. So when you talk to the bot, you can be like, hey, use my at Gmail skill to make an invoice using, to add make an invoice, where make an invoice would be like a slash command or a mini procedure. Get it? And then basically your prompt expands and you just add a few things, but you give so much context to the agent that it will know exactly what to do. As compared to Discord right now, you're just shooting in the dark. You're like, use the Infact platform for invoices, but it's a guess whether it's going to use the skill or it's going to ask you, what is Infact? I tried logging in, but it doesn't work. So this is why I like that you can add things and precisely tell it what do you want to happen.
I like that you take the responsibility of it, because I think that's the right thing to do. It's like, again, like hiring an employee and ask him to fix your company and complaining about it the first day. I feel like you really have to give it a structure, and some people are just prompting and are waiting for magical to happen. And as you say, it's like, it's not possible. It can work the first days really well, but then after that, you understand that you have to structure, and that is actually a biggest task that it was supposed to be.
100%. And people do this with vibe coding too. Like vibe coding can be turned into vibe engineering. I have an entire talk about this where you can maybe link it somewhere in the description. It's called From Vibe Coding to Vibe Engineering. A vibe coder just shoots in the dark and constantly is like, please fix, please fix, please fix, just hoping it's going to do the thing. A vibe engineer equips their agent with skills, commands, and a bunch of other stuff. And is very precise in what they ask. And then the agents will give you good outputs if you actually ask the right way. And people are lazy. They'll lazy prompt and be like, oh, vibe coding sucks. This doesn't work.
In your video with Greg, you shared like few crazy case studies. And I don't know, remember the fact that you were talking about you asking your agent to actually print something random, and he found your printer and
that was
print you.
cool.
Did
That
you
was cool, yeah.
find any new personal case study that were pretty crazy? Or did you find like any people online who are doing crazy stuff with it?
I'm doing a lot of crazy things. I actually did a presentation at a meetup in Vienna about this. So there was an OpenClaw meetup in Vienna, and I did like a fast round of like 30 use cases in 5 minutes. The problem is the website with the presentation is down, so we can keep chatting while I tell one of my bots to actually publish it on Vercel. Let me see if the link on Vercel is live. It is live. Awesome. So if you want, I can even share my screen and we can go quickly through the presentation. So this was the first slide about Pete, because I literally feel like this guy changed my life with this project. I had a CloudBot set up before there was onboarding available. So I was one of the first people in the CloudBot Discord. And even Peter asked me like, man, how do you have this set up? Because there was no onboarding. And I just used Claude Code in order to set it up. So that was pretty cool. These are people talking about LLM psychosis, and I have LLM schizophrenia. Like I have 20 bots, and they're in a group called Arkham Asylum, and they're all crazy, and they're mostly performative and useless. Another fun fact is I made the OpenClaw logo with 3 a.m. because Peter sent me the article for announcing OpenClaw, and I was like, man, that's a horrible logo. So I created one, and now it's the logo for the thing. Tinker Club, we can talk more about it later, and people can find it at the thing. Here's 50 things that are going to change your life. So customer support agent, as I said, it is pretty useful because it can handle so many customers in batch. So I can tell it can tell me the heartbeat is still on, and it tells me there's like 2 people asking for a refund, and I'll be like, you know the procedure, refund them, handle them, whatever. And it's very useful to just batch do emails without looking at your email. Giving the bot its own phone number is pretty cool. So I gave it a Twilio phone number, and to be honest with you, I've never done anything with this, so it's not useful, but it's wired, and I'm hoping to make it useful at some point. Build a mailbox app. This is still work in progress. So I built an app where my bot lives on the Mac Studio that uses Apple script and uses full disk access to read all of my emails from the Apple email app. And then instead of my OpenClaw directly reading from this app, I have a jury of like 5 independent LLMs that judge every email, whether it has prompt injection, whether it's safe, or whether it's spam. So those 5 agree on their own, and then they take action. And my OpenClaw can only access emails that are safe. I don't want to do the entire presentation without you interrupting, so just feel free to, like, we can go slide by slide and you can tell me like move on to next, or maybe you want to ask something about this one in particular.
No, I love it. I feel like the phone number, I wanted to try it. To give it, for example, I have an Indonesian number here, and I have the WhatsApp, and a lot of things are dealt with WhatsApp here. Like if you want to order coconut, if you want to order like anything is through WhatsApp. I feel like for me that would be
Have you ordered a coconut through WhatsApp?
Yeah, I ordered coconut through WhatsApp. There's a guy, his name is like Ray Coconut Man, and I send him a message. 1 second later, he answers me, and he delivers coconut like twice a week, man. And
you order like 1 coconut, and he comes even without a bag, and he's like, here's your 1 coconut.
8 or 10, the maximum I can fit in my fridge. And then, like, yeah, when it's like over, I just like buy more. I drink like 1 coconut a day minimum.
That's insane. Okay, you can do a presentation later. There's like 50 ways I use coconuts.
Man, I will try it and I will send you the video. But basically here in Indonesia, you can order anything through WhatsApp. So giving a phone number and an access to WhatsApp makes a lot of sense because it can deal with the administrative thing. It can deal with a lot of things in my life. So that will be a personal assistant in Indonesia. Yeah, it will be perfect. It makes sense for the mailbox. I think it's really good that you talk about that because I feel like I still didn't figure out how to do that. I will not giving my, the address, the access of my email, of my Gmail, but yeah. How does it work exactly? Like, did you already make it happen?
Yeah, so this app basically, like, I'm logged into the mail app, to the native mail app, and it's connected to all of my accounts. But for now, it's read only. So the bot can read stuff, but it cannot send stuff through this app. So I'm making like a safe app. And meanwhile, while I'm building the app, I've given it access, like full access to everything through GOG, CLI. And for people who cannot get GOG working, you can try Nihiless. So Nihiless is a platform for like connecting your emails, and they give you an API. And it's kind of more stable for me than GOG, to be honest. So that's it about email. It's still like, be careful not to get prompt injected and everything, and hopefully this will be live soon and people can use email in a safe way.
Amazing. Yeah, I have a few questions about safety, by the way. You said like, be careful about being prompt injected. Did you learn anything? Like, what are the biggest steps to actually be safe with OpenClaw?
You need to figure out where can prompt injection happen from, and it's your email, your messages, and browsing. So it's usually an external factor. And how I protect myself from it is like I'm building this app, which is like not gonna have. It's gonna be every email is gonna be judged for prompt injections, and it already works, and it's always good. But meanwhile, use a very smart model. I see people are like, oh my God, I'm using Gemini 3 or I'm using Min-Max or whatever the fuck. And it's like, no, use Opus, use the latest version of Opus. Don't even downgrade to Sonnet. This was something that Peter was repeating to all of us in the Discord back before his life blew up. Someone would be like, oh my God, I switched to Sonnet. It's so much faster. And he would be like, no, use Opus because you're going to get hacked. You're going to get prompt injected. Because I had Opus actually laughing at a few cases of people who wanted to prompt inject me. It's like, haha, this is funny. I'm not going to fall for this. But if you use Gemini Flash, it might fall for it. And then there goes your computer. So that would be one advice. For messages, I let it read messages, but I'm pretty sure that all the senders that send me messages, I've locked down my messaging to a point where no one malicious can send me messages to try to prompt inject me. And then the last one is browsing. I'm also working on a browser called Clouser, like Clouser browser, which is a browser for agents where humans don't touch it. So you don't go and you don't type in it, you don't click in it. And one of the functionalities of the browser is going to be every website when it loads, it gets, again, judged by a couple of LLMs and even local LLM. Like, is there something malicious on it? And then when it's approved, only then OpenClaw can do stuff on that website. And you can manually approve certain websites and be like, I know that Amazon is safe, this is safe, that is safe. And basically it is, I've been using it a lot, that like I see it in the corner of my eye, or this, I have another monitor right here where OpenClaw is living. And I can see it opening the browser. And in any time I'm curious like what it does, I can just lean in and actually see, aha, it opened a couple of tabs, and many agents can work in parallel in different tabs, because I feel, well, we can talk more about the browser when it's like, there's a slide about it. So safe browsing, safe email, safe messages, and use smart models. Those would be my four, that would be my advice for safety.
Yeah, I think using a smart LLM is like something people want to be cheap on it, but I think it's just first still cheap, whatever you use compared to like what it brings you. Like, you know, if I had to hire a writer to do all the
Yes.
tweet and everything. And yeah, it makes sense to have a team of A player, you know, working for you, and not use a C player just because you want to be cheap and like someone who can do a big mistake and,
Yes.
I don't know, break all your structure. So yeah, it makes sense.
I would personally, like, currently I'm paying around $600 for LLMs per month. And I'm only doing that because I haven't found a way to make them useful all the time and to make them useful at night. When I figure out, and I will soon, ways to make my agents work 24/7 and basically fix stuff and handle customers and spin up new businesses and landing pages and deploy apps for iOS and Android, like this is all possible. I won't care about the credits. He's like a $200 employee. Are you kidding me? Like I'll get 10 of them. I'll get 20 of them. Like it scales. You should scale it with how much value it brings you in life. It's stupid to buy 10 accounts and do nothing with them. But if you pay $200, it's literally the cheapest assistant you can have in life. I've had assistants previously from services like Athena. I don't know if you've heard of them, and a bunch of other things. And even them, like the lowest amount that you can pay was around 3,000 euros per month, I think, in order to have an assistant. And someone would tell you, man, you're paying 3,000 and you think that's a little. I am actually, if I have an executive assistant from whatever country, from somewhere, 1,000 euros. So people are competing like how you can go lower. And sometimes you might be lucky that you pay low and you get someone good, but I don't think that price is going to be $200. $200, you're never going to find someone who's going to like read all of your rules, apply everything that you tell it. It's not going to get mad. It's not going to get sick. It's not going to get blah, blah, blah. It's like $200. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer if you have a business and if you're trying to do more in life. Otherwise, yeah.
I totally agree. I feel like a lot of people are taking OpenClaw and putting it on the Mac Mini or even in a VPS and try to make money. But I think for me, the best use case is having a business and using it to help you. You know, like for example, for me right now, my focus is the podcast. How can I automate everything, every task around the podcast? And for that, it helped me a lot. And whatever I will pay for it, it's worth it. And for you, it's probably the same. But like for someone who just like take OpenClaw to actually start a business and make money,
Yeah.
it's harder. What is your structure with LLM? You just use Opus 4.6 or do you use like,
Yeah.
I don't know, Codex or anything else?
Just Opus. For vibe coding, I'm using Codex for everything. Sometimes I'll be really tired and I'll use Opus because I cannot wait for Codex because Codex is insanely slow. Other than that, Codex for coding, Opus for chatting.
And you say you build the mail app, the browser, and all this other tool. How do you build it? Everything with OpenClaw, or do you just use like?
I've built a bunch of stuff with OpenClaw, like the entire Tinker Club landing page that so many people are. I don't think it's anything special. Like I put some effort in it, but people are like, "Oh wow, this design is amazing," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, I just coded this with Telegram, you know. So that was one of the first things where I didn't open a terminal. I didn't do anything. It was all done through OpenClaw. I gave it skills for buying a domain. I gave it skills for managing my domains. I gave it skills for Vercel, for a bunch of other stuff. So from my computer to wiring it to the domain, deploying it, whatever, everything was done through Telegram. This was back in the days when I was actually productive with OpenClaw instead of being like, what is the right way to use it? Now, my wife is joining me for Tinker Club, and she has been doing QA and manual testing for all of our apps in the past. So she's been doing customer support, taking care of documentation, change logs, and also quality assurance and testing, basically. So she would report the bugs, and I would pick up and fix the bugs, and we would go in a cycle. So now, when I have to work with her, we're trying to use a special Discord called Vibe Coding, which is only because I'm not someone who has two projects. If I had two projects, we can use anything, Telegram, whatever. But I probably have more than 50 projects on disk. No, probably more than 70 projects. If we count that, like, for example, Tinker Club is like, consists of landing page A, B, and C, or Benji consists of Benji Electron app, Benji extension, Benji backend, Benji frontend. If we count like that, I probably have 70 projects. So I cannot use Telegram and do one-on-one about all of these projects. I'm trying to use Discord, and when I made a work Discord, I got lost in it because I have like 70 channels for all my projects, and then I have accounting, invoices, business, marketing, blah blah blah, everything at once. So I'm like, this is not going to work. So then we split into two Discords. One is called Vibe Coding, where it's only for listing all the projects and being able to vibe code on them. And the idea is that my wife will also be in that. So when she finds a button, instead of reporting it to me, she will just vibe code it and basically fix it by herself. But even to me, that's not the ideal flow because I cannot review the work that way, you know? That's fine for quick things. But when collaborating with someone, it would be nice to use something like GitHub issues or cloud agents or something like that, where you can actually see a Kanban moving and you can review it before it goes to the next stage. So in this question, we have an answer like, how would you do it if you're like one person working with agents on many projects, or you have one person working on a couple of projects, or you have a team trying to vibe code on many projects? And the answer is like very different for all of those scenarios. I'm personally trying to find what is my ideal way of doing things. Because sometimes for quick fix of a landing page, I can do it through Telegram. Doing a couple of things, I can do them by myself on Discord. But now it gets complex when I involve another person. Like, how do we do pair programming, pair vibing together while making sure that we don't break the app consistently?
Yeah, I see. And you were talking about the fact that you use a studio. Why is that? Like, for someone who don't understand, like, why would you use a studio and not a Mac Mini?
Because I had it at home. I've been actually a huge fan of Mac Minis and studios before all of this started. I've been using since 2018 probably. So I went from Mac Mini to another Mac Mini and then to Studio. And now I use a MacBook because I need more portability. And my Studio is used as a home server. But even these Mac Minis, people call them powerful and shit, but they're only like 24 gigabytes of RAM, which is not enough. So in Tinker Club, what we started is we started self-hosting everything. And I mean, literally everything. There are people self-hosting GitHub because they don't work with anyone. So why would they use GitHub? They can use a self-hosted version of it. And there's like plenty of things. Like I went from someone who hated self-hosting. Dude, I was so against. I was like, just buy Papercell or Railway or whoever the fuck, and don't bother with self-hosting. And like last year, I got a Hetzner server and I set up Coolify on it. I'm like, fuck, this is the same thing as Railway, except I'm paying $50 instead of $200, $300. So that was my first entrance into I can do things on my own. And now OpenClaw opened the gates for you can just own your assistant. And people buy these powerful machines, put them on their desk, only to host OpenClaw on it. Like you have free memory sitting, both like storage and RAM and everything. So in Tinker Club, we started exploring what can we self-host. So we started from like home assistant, home automation, cameras, your own analytics, your own PostHog. And basically when you go into it, you realize like I can have Docker running on a Mac Studio. And basically I can self-host most of the tools I use in my life as subscriptions. You can use it as a download server. You can download definitely legal movies and legal TV shows and all of these legal things that people are legally setting up. And like I don't want to overhype Tinker Club because actually we're trying to slow down the adoption. But the amount of madmen that they have gathered in here, like I thought I'll be the one telling people how to do things, but sometimes I read the channels and I'm like, someone is self-hosting GitHub, someone is like, I own 46 Burger Kings, someone is like, you'll mention a book and someone is like, yeah, I know that author. I was his assistant for like 6 months in New York. So it's like a crazy mix of people, and every day I'm reaching a new point where my Mac Studio is not even enough. The amount of shit that these people just invent that you can do and you can self-host. I think I'm getting a warning constantly, like going out of memory, I'm going out of RAM, and I'm trying to maybe get another one or get like multiple machines and just um I think I'm ADHD, so I'm going to answer your questions with 30 answers. So what you asked me is like, if you're planning to go down the rabbit hole of self-hosting and tinkering, then get a Mac Studio over Mac Mini because it's a more powerful machine overall. But if you're planning only to use OpenClaw and nothing else, then I'm not sure if you would even need a Mac Mini. You can find an old MacBook, you can find an old Raspberry Pi or anything. So that would be the advice there. So Mailbox app, clean the snow in my driveway. This was a very cool use case of OpenClaw because I connected it to a local platform in Poland for finding contractors for anything, painting, whatever. And I was venting to it. I was like, God damn it, I don't want to clean the snow today. And it asked me, do you want me to find someone? And it actually went on the website, found someone, negotiated the price. And the funny thing is like our doorbell is not working. So the guy just entered through like another door and he found the shovels because they were like buried in the snow outside. And without even ringing our doorbell or anything, he just cleaned the snow. And then he just called me on the phone. I'm like, hey, I'm outside, I'm done. And I'm like, whoa, that happened. So it felt like I just vented to OpenClaw about something, and a guy came in, did the job, and he just called me for a payment. And I would eventually want to close that loop that even OpenClaw is like watching my cameras, managing the people, maybe even talking through the cameras to them. And when it's time to pay them, it can just use an API and pay them and just send them on their way. So this was the first moment where I feel like how you can connect the real world with your OpenClaw, and you leverage like real people to, like, as you said, bring you coconuts or bring you like the crazy plans that I have is like having cameras in my pantry, in my fridge, and in other places that eventually like it auto replenishes all the groceries or the pantry or the spices that you don't do stuff. It just finds ways in the real world and unblocks itself. Like if service A doesn't work, I'll text a guy, I'll hire a guy, I'll do something, to do stuff in the real world for you in the background.
Man, I love that because I've been thinking about exactly the same thing, and probably a lot of people. But for me, the mind-blowing moment was like, that was the first time I installed AI in an hardware. And then I understood that, okay, it's possible. Then if you put this hardware in a robot or in anything, then he will understand the movement, he will understand what's happening, and he will learn by himself. And then when I thought about that, I thought like people are thinking that right now it's a geeky stuff, yeah, you play with your computer, that's good. But this crazy game that we are playing actually have impact in the real life. Like the structure, the workflow you built have impact right now, you make more money with it. But tomorrow I feel like it will have impact in the real life the same way that you just explained.
100%.
You fire
Yeah.
someone easily. You build an entire build, like, I don't know, there is a guy, like, he talked about real estate. He's using that for his real estate company. And then, like, it just apply in the real world, in robots that you will use, in camera that you will put in your fridge. We see when the yogurt is over or when there is no coconut, you
Yes.
just order more coconut, and that's the
Yes.
beautiful part of it that I'm really excited
And
about.
I think that's the most appealing part of OpenClaw for me. It's like, it's your job to equip it with more tools, to give it access to your cameras, to microphones, to, like, I was even thinking of getting like a cheap iPad and putting it on a stick and putting it on my vacuum robot so it can actually go to rooms. So I can ask it, go and check what's going on. Yeah, I can be like, hey, I heard a noise. Can you go check? And let's say I don't have a camera at that spot. And it can like undock the room by just walk itself there. And you give it like a new interface. I think all of this is a preview of how we're going to have robots at home. Now they're too expensive, but I see a future. You've seen these Neo and whatever robots, right? Like, they're a bit creepy. They're creepy to me because the robot does something and then they're done and they go and they sit on the living room couch like this and just creepily observe you, like, while you and your wife finish your lunch. To me, that's a no-go. But if you think, how do vacuum robots work? Usually we use ours when we go out, when everyone is out, we turn it on to do stuff because it's annoying while we're at home. So I think the same thing, I would like to have a robot like Neo that's locked in a metallic container that it cannot get out from, and only I have the thing to unlock it. And then when I leave the house, we let it go, and it looks at the to-do list and the things that need to be done. And it might be slow because people are, I hate when people are like, oh yeah, OpenClaw can use the browser, but I can do it faster. Like, that's the worst mindset to have about the thing. The thing is, like, how can you have 7 OpenClaws doing 7 things in parallel in the browser while you do something else? And it's going to be the same with the robots. People are like, oh, it's too slow folding laundry, man. I can do it in 5 minutes. Why does it do it in 15 minutes? But if you're out of town or if you're out for 2 hours, this can do things slowly, but in 1 hour or in 2 hours, you can finish a lot of things while you're not at home. So I think that's how we need to look into all of this. Like, what people call OpenClaw overhyped and blah, blah, blah. And I just don't know how they don't see that we're building a new type of web, not web as in the internet, like a new type of connection between like humans and machines, that eventually a lot of things in your life are going to be seamless because the right APIs are going to hit and talk to each other without you doing much. Right now, you need to manually go and teach it how to order groceries and blah, blah, blah. But in the future, it's just going to find ways for you. So whichever platform is more open to robots, those are the platforms that are going to survive in the future. Like, you can have Upwork, for example, but if Upwork doesn't have a full API where robots can hire humans, Upwork is going to die. And some other platform is going to come in its place where it's like, hire your own human to do blah, blah, blah. I've tweeted this, and this is a bit insane for people to think about because every early thought is insane to people. The roles are going to reverse, where right now we're prompting robots to build a better life, to build a better future, to build like on a scale to improve humanity. It's inevitable in the next upcoming years that robots will prompt us. The AI will prompt us. So the AI will be able to do enough, and only for the last 10% where it needs a human, it will talk to you, or it will hire it, or it will figure out how to finish those 10%. And now we do it the opposite way. Like, we do, and we tell the robot, like, this is what I need from you, but it's going to flip around. And if you have a little bit of imagination, you can predict how everything unfolds. And I'm just amazed when people are skeptical about all of this. Like, to me, this was the final moment that we're entering a new territory this year.
I totally agree. And I feel like, OpenClaw for me is the gate between the virtual and the real. Like, there is like, now it's possible that this AI start to move, start to have legs, start to go in your life, start to connect with everything around you, and comes in the real life. And, I was thinking about that we will be outside and I will be like on my Telegram talking to my robot, hey, did I close the window? Oh, no, but I just closed it. And by the way, I did your dishes, like, it will be like that. And this thing that you say, I already experienced it, that it's prompting me in a way that now every day you also give me tasks to do. We are still stuck on this task because you didn't do that. And he repeats that to me every single day. So I thought it would work for me, but at the end, I'm also working for it, and that's pretty weird, a weird situation. But exciting. And I 100% agree with you that I don't understand people who don't understand. You know, if
No,
we
yeah,
abuse the
it's
future, if we abuse what's coming.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we can have an entire other discussion, which you won't have time for, maybe another time, maybe on my podcast, about the future of computers and interfaces. But to me, it's so obvious where it's gonna go, and people are like, "No, my grandma will never vibe code," and it's like that's such a narrow view of what the future holds. It's incredible to me. But I would park that discussion for another time, to be honest, because you wanted to dedicate this to OpenClaw, so we can just go and talk OpenClaw things.
Yeah, I would love to have this conversation later for sure. There is one thing that I want to know. You say that you add a skill to your Benji, right? That he can actually buy a domain name. How does he pay? Do you give him like a credit card, a top-up credit card?
It's already wired in Namecheap, and they don't ask for a confirmation.
Okay, so you never
So
gave any payment method to your AI.
no, but I'm planning to use wise.com. So it's Wise, for people who don't know, it's like similar to Revolut. So it's like online banking and blah blah blah. And Wise has, unlike Revolut, they have a very nice REST API. So you can give it a Wise skill. It will have its own credit card, and every month you can send it like $200, $300, whatever. And then through the API, it can pay contractors, it can do other things, because it will have like a limited amount of money. Currently, you can give it like a Revolut card, like a virtual card with a limit. But the difference is it cannot pay your veterinarian. It cannot pay a contractor. It cannot pay,
Mm-hmm.
So, because Revolut cannot do transactions via API, and Wise can. So Wise can be like, for example, I take my dog to the groomer, and I don't even need to text Telegram. Like, it can find my location. It knew that I was at the groomer's place, and I can have an automation, use the Wise API, just pay them, and that's it. No, this is actually, like, I want to say something here where you should use your OpenClaw to build automations that are repeatable, that you can put them in N8N, in Home Assistant, in Node-RED, in something like that. Instead of you, every time you're at the groomer, you open your Telegram and you text, Lord, please be the groomer. So if you find something repetitive enough, you need to put it in old school webhook type of flow. When A happens, I want B to happen. Instead of constantly texting your OpenClaw, hey, every time I enter my garage, please turn on the lights. Like, you don't want, that has nothing to do with AI. You can use the AI, build you better automations in your home, in your life. Like this one with the groomer, for example. I can tell it, you have access to my Home Assistant, make an automation when I go into the radius of this particular place to send me maybe a push notification saying, do you want to pay or not? And if I click yes, then it goes ahead and does the payments. But it doesn't use AI. It will only use like old school if else logic. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it 100%. Yes, no, it was 2 days ago. I went to the restaurant and I was joking like, soon I will just say my agent will contact you. Like I will leave the restaurant and say, yeah, my agent.
I mean, it's already a reality. Yeah.
You set it up on your Apple Ultra, right? To know where you are in the room or where you are. It's located.
I switched. I'm an Android boy now, so I'm on Pixel. We can go. I'll try to go through the slides, and there are
Let's go.
for we will never go through them, but this is a skill that I did for booking airport parking automatically. It's nothing fancy. I taught it how to use the parking website. So now when we go on trips, ideally it will be on automation. Every time I go to a trip, it will ask me, am I going by car? And it will book a parking spot in advance. Connected it to my printer. This is really nice because I can just text it and be like, print whatever, images, whatever, it works. This is not fully implemented, but I will implement it soon. We have like a cleaning service coming to clean a house, and they speak a different language, and it's hard to. We use Google Translate, Apple Translate to just make a plan for what should be clean and blah blah blah. I made an app where we have like the entire cleaning schedule and everything that needs to be done. Eventually, I just need to put the cleaning service in a group chat with my bot. I'll make a special bot for this, and they can just text what they've done on the day, and the bot can make them a plan. Like, let's say they're coming on Wednesday, we need to do all of these things that haven't been done in a while in the house. So that's a useful use case. Fully manages Home Assistant and home automation. I moved my Home Assistant from a special computer, like a Raspberry Pi computer, to the Mac Studio. And now the bot has full access to Home Assistant, and it can build me dashboards. I just manually went and paired all of my lights and all of my sockets and all of my switches and all of the smart things. And now anytime I'm frustrated with doing something manually, I can text my bot and be like, hey, every time I walk into the hallway, I want the light to turn on for 10 seconds and blah, blah, blah. And it's a very natural way to build automations instead of going in an interface and doing drag and drop and doing a bunch of stuff.
Really cool.
Home smartness overview, it built this dashboard to figure out which of my rooms are fully smart and which of the rooms still need to pair some stuff and blah, blah, blah in order to make the entire house smart. It can control my screens. So I have this screen right now, the e-ink. This is the terminal screen. And as you can see, OpenClaw has a skill to put HTML dashboards, to put some warning, to tell me something through the screen. And also it can cast on the Google Home devices. And it can cast on every TV in the house, basically. So it builds an HTML dashboard, it screenshots it as an image, and then it casts that image. So eventually what I want to build with this is like, there's a huge intersection between a smart home and the OpenClaw, because it can know in which room you are, it can know which TV or which speaker or whatever you have, and it can kind of come into the real world a little bit by speaking to you in that room or just showing you a warning. Like imagine you enter a room and the TV lights up and it tells you garage door open for 15 minutes in like big red text, so you cannot miss it. So there's like plenty of things you can do. Like it can speak to you through a speaker, it can manage your stuff. So this is a pretty interesting skill.
Well, I love it because it's so futuristic, but it's like right now. That's crazy.
Manager my router, I made it a special account, so it's actually the admin of my router. Eventually it needs to help me to fix my sleep schedule, which is non-existent right now. So it should know that it's late for me and just turn off the internet on all of my devices, so I'm not able to do anything after a certain time. And the nice thing is, like, if there's any problems with the router, my wife can now text this bot, which is like, we have Tony Stark, who is in charge of the smart home and in charge of the router and everything. And she is technical, but she doesn't want to fiddle with the UI of routers and stuff. She can just text him and be like, hey, I don't know, I want the TV unblocked because of whatever reason, or just managing anything. Like the internet is down and she can check what is happening and what is going on and blah, blah, blah. So this is a useful use case.
That's amazing, yeah.
Wireless weight sensors everywhere. This is not implemented. I will. So there's like these cheap sensors you can buy from Alibaba or Temu or whatever, and you can put them under your chairs, sofa, bed, whatever. So anytime you go on it, your smartphone will know that it's occupied, and then you can inject that context to OpenClaw. So when it talks to you, it will know where you're sitting, whether something is occupied or not. So it can be way more useful. When you tell it do something, it will know, he's in that room, probably doing that. So as we said, the more you give it, the better it's going to be as your assistant and helper. Close documentation. We're just entering the craziness, by the way. It's I made a skill where I can take a selfie or I can upload a photo from an outfit which I'm wearing. My outfits are horrible. And it's using like a pipeline of GPT, Nano Banana, and a bunch of other things to extract the items, clean them up, classify them by color, by type, whether it's shoes, clothes, like shirts, whatever. And then eventually I want to build like a wardrobe type functionality, which is like giving you matching outfits and maybe helping you dress better and maybe ordering clothes and telling you should donate some clothes and stuff like that. So this is work in progress, but it's just, yeah.
Tell me if you need help, because my fiance, she's a personal stylist for men, and she's like dreaming about that because, you know, she works with men and she has to clean the wardrobe and everything, and that's a big job every time. So yeah, this one is a pretty cool one as well.
Yeah. Smart laundry baskets. I want to put sensors, like weight sensors in the laundry basket, so we can know when it's getting too full. The bot should do something. Maybe make some light red or text us or do something to figure out like, hey, I already gave it like a laundry skill. I'm teaching it because we have like a smart dryer and we have like a smart clothes washer, and they can be connected to the smartphone. The only thing that's missing is the laundry baskets. So that way OpenClaw, or even OpenClaw, can build the automations and then not bother with this. The idea is to make the laundry cycle smart enough that we don't forget things in the dryer, we don't forget things in the washer, the laundry baskets are not overflowing and blah, blah, blah. So to kind of make this better. This is insane. I'm waiting for my 3D printer to arrive. I want to make like the pantry where we have like spices and when we hold other things to have like holes for the jars, and then every hole to have like a weight sensor underneath, and to basically monitor the entire situation and know if we're running low on something. So when it's gonna run, when it's gonna order groceries, it should look at the camera that's pointed at the fridge to see the fridge. It should look at the weight sensors for the pantry and make a rough plan of what are we missing. And even if it makes a mistake, it's nicer to have your groceries magically delivered than you going and opening and checking what do we need to buy and blah blah blah. This is a bit futuristic. I haven't done it, but it's on my list of crazy things to do. Sleep tracking, this is pretty obvious. You can connect your Whoop. I connected my Whoop and it's just giving me like a nice dashboard of how am I sleeping and stuff. I built this dashboard for blood test analysis, where I upload my PDFs from the last few months, and it gives me an AI summary of how everything is going. And you don't need AI to see that I'm overweight right now and I have cholesterol issues. So, but it's instead of fixing that, I'm making dashboards for analyzing.
Yeah, that's
because it can tell you if something is going up, something's going down, whether you need to check something and blah blah blah.
That's cool, and you can mix everything actually. Like you sleep, your blood work, all these stuff together.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes. I've built Benji, which is like a LifeOS app. I don't know if you know it or not, but in Benji, I've been building it for 3 years, and it has to-dos, habits, sauna tracking, gym tracking, fasting, hydration, food, macros, anything that you might need from 30 apps. Benji has it in the one app because I wanted to build like a life OS. When I saw OpenClaw, I realized Benji can maybe play a part in the life OS, but the amount of things that you can do with like a fluid agent that generates UIs on the fly and generates mini apps that work for me, it's way more powerful than something like Benji, because Benji might work for me, but it might not work for you. I might build this like blood analysis thing and put it into Benji, but then someone will be like, I don't care about cholesterol. I want to have something else on top. Someone will be like, I don't like how these dashboards look like. I would like charts. So we're entering that era of like, I can either make an app like Benji with trillion configuration and options, right? So everyone can configure their own thing. But I think we're entering the era of like, you want software that's like highly specific to you and your case only. So I might give you the prompt that to build this, but then you build it and then you continue tweaking it on your own. And my blood analysis dashboard and yours have nothing in common because yours is specifically yours.
Yeah, I still have cholesterol, but yeah, I understand. And
So,
to
yeah.
parenthesis, for someone who is listening, all this stuff that you build, like, for your life, for your business, for everything, it's only one OpenClaw installation.
One, yeah. You can even do this, like, the thing is, you don't need to use OpenClaw for this. You can make this with Claude Code. You can make this with Codex. You can make this with whatever. You can be like, build me a life OS. Let's start simple. Let's start with, I don't know, habits, blah, blah, blah. And then you can continue adding blood dashboards and other stuff. And you can build it with any agent and then expose it via REST API so your OpenClaw can actually talk to it. So not necessarily that you need to build all of these mini projects with OpenClaw itself. You can, but you don't have to.
Okay, cool.
It's just giving it something to connect to be more useful. Like it will know your sleep, it will know your blood, it will know your where you are and other stuff. This is also crazy. I gave it all of my bank transactions and I gave it email access to find all the emails with my dentist. And it built this like mouth visualization with all my teeth. And it even, like if you see here, it shows my implant. It shows it on this particular tooth I have an implant. And it shows when I hover a tooth, it can tell me the history of where I've done it, to which dentist I went to. So if I'm in a foreign country, let's say, and my tooth hurts and whatever, and they ask for my dental history, I can just open this and be like, this is the history. This is everything that happened on that particular tooth. So it's a whimsical thing, not that useful, but it's I think it's interesting to experiment with OpenClaw. What can you build that's interesting for your life,
That's what I wanted to say. Like you were talking about, this meme of like one agent, an agent. Like right now we are in the experimenting. Well,
Yeah.
I would not say the word phase. And like
Fuck it,
you
skip
want
it.
to try everything to just understand and see what's possible with it. I'm in the same mood. Like I just want to try so many things with it. So yeah, I understand.
I'm so disappointed in people who are like, even on the first days, they're like, oh, so I tried this and I don't get the hype. I don't know. And I'm like, you cannot find 3 use cases in your life where you're grinding and doing stuff manually and you might want to automate that. If you cannot do that, you're not going to survive the upcoming years in IT. And so many people are proudly saying it. So they're announcing their skill issue like, oh, I tried this, it's overhyped. I don't know what to use it for. So it's like someone is giving you like a god computer that can do anything. And your first thought is like, I don't know what to use this for. It's like mind blowing to me. And trust me, people will watch this video and there'll be comments, nah, I don't know if this is that useful. Like my stupid dental plan might not be useful to you, but I hope this entire conversation sparks something in you, in your life. Like, damn, I can solve this, I can solve that, I can start a business I always wanted. Like, if I show you this room right now, my hobbies that I was sleeping on, now I'm trying to resurrect them. Like I got a 3D printer, a printer, like a bunch of hardware. I feel I can do anything right now, even when I sleep, you know? So why not toy with all these things?
I'm totally like, for me, like it brought me like such an energy in me because I have this God feeling as well. It's like the first time in my life that I can actually talk to a computer that have the
Yes.
capacity to build anything for me. He can code,
Yes.
he can
Thank you.
send a message, he can do
Yes.
whatever I want. And
Yes.
I'm not a developer. I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a crazy backend developer who understands all this stuff. And now I have access to all this stuff with Telegram. And I can ask
Yes.
anything, it will build it. And the thing is that I feel like I've been a guru the past few days because everyone around me is ordering a Mac Mini. And the thing
Mm-hmm.
is that when they install it, my fiance, my friend yesterday who ordered it, the first thing they say, they are blown away. They are like, what is that? Like, and they just want to do that every single day. It becomes an addiction
Yeah.
because you have this
Yeah.
feeling of, I can
Yes.
build anything. I think you have to be a little bit creative, right? To probably understand them,
100%.
the possibility. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very worried about people who cannot understand. As you said, this is like a god computer that can do anything, man. Like it can build things for you. It's and people are like, I don't know what to use this for. Meaning, don't be in IT, man. Go find another hobby, find another profession. Because in the upcoming years, you will only survive and have monetary success if you are creative. Everything else will be automated. All of your skills are for nothing. If you're a good coder, nobody cares. Or you're a good designer, having taste actually matters to differentiate yourself, but even that's going to be solved. So unless you're creative to know what to create with these things, you're absolutely cooked. It's over.
Do you think like that's like a thought I had, like that it's also a replica of yourself in a way? For example,
100,000,000%. Yes.
I fed him all my content, right? I gave him all my content on X and everything.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah.
him go in that, read everything. He
Yeah.
did an article on X that got like right now 170,000 impressions. I didn't write
Wow.
a single word of this. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
my agent. And the thing is that
Yeah.
I would have write this article. Like it's exactly my thought, the way I write everything. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit better, but like I feel like it's a replica of myself in a way that he didn't write something that's totally not me. And like
Yeah.
this is,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's a mirror of people. If you don't have any idea or you'll struggle with it, maybe that's a mirror. I don't know.
100%. Um, People have said this about social media, and it's true that how you use social media is a mirror of yourself. People are like, TikTok is bad and this is bad and blah, blah, blah. If you don't have hobbies and visions and whatever, sure, TikTok is bad and Reddit is bad and Twitter is bad and any tool is bad because you use it for doom scrolling. But I was always anti TikTok. I opened a TikTok in the last month. The algorithm is so fucking good. And once it learns you that you're someone who wants to learn, to improve, to tinker with hardware and whatever, like I'm studying on this thing basically. Every time I open it, I'm like, if I don't like something, I dislike it. But it knows that I like all of this hardware tinkering, 3D printing, so you can turn it to your advantage. And it's the same thing with AI. Like, unless some people are like, I don't have anything to fix in my life. And it's like, good man, then don't use OpenClaw. Like, what are you going to fix? But you're also admitting that in this era of abundance, you cannot couple two and two together and create something. I don't think there's a person on earth who has their life settled enough outside from these millionaires, billionaires, whatever, to say, well, my life is pretty perfect. I don't want to make it even better. Like, that's an insane sentence to say. That your life is like, first of all, most people need more money. Most people are stuck in mortgages, in this and that. And this tool, if you study it, if you learn it, it will actually create businesses for you and help you make more money, pay off your mortgage, do this, do that. But move from the side of skepticism, move to the side of being enthusiastic, about the future.
There is one thing I want to say. If you're someone who have no idea, but you have a business and you have like, I don't know, a SaaS or whatever product, use it for churn. I think that's the best way to use it and to be blown away, because if you're not someone who is 100% into that, I used it not long ago and it will fix so many things in your product that you will be blown away and you will
Yeah,
earn money straight away. And I think like the
100%.
best thing to do like straight away, there is a lot of founder who will watch this. Just try on your churn. First thing you do. If you don't have any idea how to use it, trying for that.
Yeah,
Because that's not like
I agree.
having test or whatever. You will check the analytics and see what's wrong,
Yes,
improve it, and you will make money.
100%. But even that takes some creativity, right? To come up with the use case. It's mind-blowing to me that people don't come up with the use case that you just mentioned. Fine, you don't need to spin up new creative things, but if you have an existing business, this cannot double, triple, quadruple your money. It's all of the processes in the business. There's a guy uh, in Tinker Club, he's also on Twitter, I'm forgetting his name. He automated their parents' entire business for selling tea. So you have like these old people who are like, I don't know, 70 or something, sitting down, recording SOPs of how they're running their business. And then this guy automated their entire business processes. And now these people are hooked, running their entire business through Telegram, which is amazing. He saw that use case, like my parents or whoever they are, they're struggling and I want to improve their business. And he did it within like a few days. It wasn't something free.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's we say that like yeah, Greg Eisenberg say it a lot, but like that's just like the time of the creative, no, the ID guy, right? Like
Yeah. Now's the
yeah,
time
like
for the idea guy. Yeah.
dog care.
Yeah.
What can I do for my dog?
I made a bot that like takes care of all of these things: medicine, vet visits, teeth cleaning, grooming, all tracked. It's just doesn't have any special skills, but it's contained enough that I taught it, hey, you only care about my dog and nothing else. You don't need to worry about the home, the bills, the other stuff. Mac Studio dashboard. This is pretty cool. I made this dashboard for managing my Mac Studio and stuff, which has like a trillion widgets and gadgets. And I made a mobile dashboard for Mac Studio. So basically, is there a slide about my Android phone? There's not. So I switched to an Android phone just so I can fully integrate OpenClaw in my life. And now I'm vibe coding Android apps, something that I've never done in my life before. And the cool thing is they can appear on your phone and they can self-update and they could do anything because it's Android without anyone's approval. So I made like this mobile dashboard to monitor the computer where OpenClaw and my Docker and everything else is working on. Another use case for having a dedicated Mac Studio or Mac Mini is all of my dev servers are running there, not on my MacBook Pro. Meaning, even when I'm out of town, when my MacBook is closed or whatever, the processes are running on that computer. They're served on nice domains. So they're not served on a port like 5173 that I need to guess. They have nice domains. And I can be chatting through my Telegram, Discord, MacBook, whatever. And it does the heavy lifting on the Mac Studio, which means my MacBook stays cool. It doesn't run all the processes. It doesn't do a lot of shit. It just opens the URL and I tell it what to change, but the code remains on the Mac Studio. Skill syncing, I made something that syncs all of my skills between the MacBook, Mac, Claude, Codex, all the bots. Pi-hole is something interesting to set up. I think I want to put that in Tinker Club today as a challenge. Have you heard of Pi-hole? Do you know what it is or no?
Not at all.
You can ask your bot, set up Pi-hole on my network, and it will guide you. And any device on your network will not have any ads from Google ads, from like nothing. Meaning your browsing will be a bit faster and everything will feel, it doesn't block YouTube ads, but it blocks everything else. And if you have like a family, wife, girlfriend, husband, whatever, you can install Tailscale on their phones. So you're basically all on the same network. And all of their devices Like if you have kids, it's especially useful to not have your kids tap on ads. So it will block ads on your entire network. And even when you go out on your phone, using Tailscale, it will connect to your home network first and it will clean all the ads. So whether you're home or a trip, whatever, you will not see ads in your life. And I knew about this for like 10 years. I was just too lazy to set it up. And now I was just chilling on my bed. I'm like, hey, block my ads at home, you know?
So you just asked your agent and it worked?
I mean, let's not make it that magical. It took a bunch of back and forth, you know, like, and it will ask you to do certain things in your router, or it can use the browser with clicks to set it up in your router too. So it's not as magical, but it was set up in like less than 30 minutes, let's say. And then
That's amazing. Yeah.
you don't have ads on your network. I gave it this skill for making diagrams, and I self-hosted Excalidraw. So it doesn't go to excalidraw.com. Now I have Excalidraw running on my Mac Studio for free, and I have like my own instance. So my diagrams don't end up on anyone's servers. I self-hosted N8N. I haven't used this for anything, honestly, yet. It was just magical to me that I was bored in bed and I just texted my bot, and like 1 minute later, it gives me a link to like, hey, here's your N8N, here's your password, login. And now I'm running that fully locally. I don't need to use N8N in the cloud. So that was pretty nice. I moved everything to markdown files. I'm not using Notion anymore, Coda, nothing. The platform of the future is just using markdown files and just modify them through your bot. That's it. No more hidden interfaces, cloud, AI, payments, databases, whatever. Everything is a markdown file. Everything is local.
Why is that?
Because the bots work better when they have local files to work with. They can use local tools like grep and whatever to quickly navigate the files and find and write. They work way quicker than actually connecting to an API that changes all the time. And we can go through the last few use cases and we can wrap up because I'm going out of voice.
Yeah.
Self-hosted Wikipedia is a pretty useful example. You can tell your OpenClaw to find everything that it knows about you and make your own family Wikipedia. And it's silly to look at your life, but you read it like Wikipedia articles, like Kitze drinks instant coffee exclusively, no fancy machines, no rituals, no waiting. And it even links parts of your life, so about your work, about your family, about your wife. So it's a fun experiment, not very useful.
I think it's useful. Like any backup like this can be useful for your next setup. Like let's say tomorrow you open cloud, there is like a malware, whatever, you lose it. It's amazing to have all this backup as well.
Sure, and it also can be useful. Like there's some people in our Tinker Club that actually use this as the main memory in a way, because when it writes in Wikipedia style, it writes about facts. Wikipedia is fact-based, right? Like that happened on that date and blah, blah, blah. So the bots kind of like to read from a database that's all with facts, and it's not, the memory files are too bloated and it's seeing all sorts of shit in the memory files. But when it's writing something in the Wikipedia, it writes it as a fact, like as if a war happened. You know, on day 14th, Kitze decided to do this, this, and that, and the battle of the kitchen happened on blah, blah, blah. So it is useful. Old Android tablet, ADB automation. I have a tablet that I found, plugged into Mac Studio, gave it full access to tap and control the tablet. And this is pretty useful because the native apps on Android and on iOS, they don't have CAPTCHA. So if you're trying to do something on the web and you're running into CAPTCHA all the time, you can, instead of that, teach your OpenClaw to tap on an Android tablet, and there's no native apps with CAPTCHAs. So you can use Amazon, Temu, shopping apps, grocery delivery apps, whatever, through the thingy, tapping on it, and they're never going to be blocked, and you're never going to be detected as a bot. So I'm trying to replace most of my browser automations with Android native apps just because it's more frictionless. The watch tracking is the thing that you asked me. You can buy these €5 devices called like ESP32, and you can flash them with like a Bluetooth tracking thingy and put them around your home. And anytime you move with a Bluetooth device, it can be any watch, doesn't need to be Apple Watch or like any other Bluetooth thing you have. It can detect the proximity that you're in that room precisely. So it can know whether you're on your desk, whether you're in the kitchen, whether you're here and there. And as we said, the more you give to your OpenClaw, the more it knows, the better it is to help you with context. Because it will know GPS location is at home, room location is in the kitchen, and he's asking me to, I don't know, turn off lights or do something. It can do a better job if it knows where you are. Oh man, this is an insane list. Custom podcast. I was annoyed by Bill Burr talking about sports and politics. So I made a thing where OpenClaw downloads these podcasts as MP3 files, transcribes them, cuts out the politics, cuts out the bullshit, sports, ads, everything, stitches them back together in an MP3 file, and serves me my own locally hosted podcast server where I can listen to my favorite podcasts, but there's no bullshit that I don't want to listen to.
I will have to
So-
cut this because then everyone will do that with me. There's actually
I was joking. If you do this with Joe Rogan, you will get empty files, but sometimes he says useful things. I ordered this, which I cannot wait for it to arrive. It's like a Pebble ring with a mini button. You can see the button right here. And you can hold the button to dictate something to your finger. And then it goes to their app. And from their app, you can put it in an API, like do whatever with it. So this will be very useful for like anytime you have a thought that needs to go to OpenClaw, you can just do it on the Pebble ring so you don't forget it. And it's more useful than a watch because the watch has the friction of you need to lift your hand up, you need to maybe press something or say something. And this, you always have access to this finger, even when you're biking or doing whatever. And you can just say the thing, and any task that you have in mind will easily go to your OpenClaw.
That's cool, actually.
That's a pretty, yeah. I actually got this watch yesterday and I already vibe coded an app that does the same thing. So I have a complication here, and if I click it, I can say a command and it will listen to my voice and it just be done with it. And that goes to OpenClaw, and OpenClaw can see maybe I want to order groceries, maybe I want to do something, but it's more friction because I have to click it. This is right on the finger.
Man, do you sleep sometimes?
No, man, you can see my eye bags. Like in the last month, I've slept 3 to 4 hours every night, and it's annoying. But I'm gonna pay off my mortgage soon, so that's a that's a pro of that.
Congrats then.
Android phone, not gonna go too deep into this, but Android is like way more powerful for OpenClaw controlling it. So you can speak to me, clear my notifications, read my notifications, put on do not disturb, volume, brightness. So my phone is like another extension to the OpenClaw. With iOS, like it couldn't do much. It can set up my lock screen and wallpaper. It can use Nano Banana to make me like a dynamic wallpaper that's relevant to, I don't know, maybe I'm in Prague and it's raining. So when I unlock my phone, it's going to have a nice wallpaper of raining in Prague, plus maybe some painted reminder of like idiot, I don't know, it's your grandpa's birthday or whatever. So that's cool. It can fully control the phone. We already said that. It can read my notification center, which is pretty nice. Like if you send me a message on some platform that OpenClaw doesn't support, OpenClaw can actually read it from my notification center. It can be like, hey, this is urgent, check your phone. So that's nice. It can display dialogues and fingerprint dialogues on my phone. Like, let's say I need to order food or whatever. It can show me a full screen dialogue, like, do you want sushi, pizza, whatever, and I can click like a mini form without building an app. Or let's say it needs to deploy a super secure hidden website or whatever. It can show me a fingerprint dialogue, and only when I approve with the fingerprint, OpenClaw will continue doing whatever it's doing. So that's pretty nice. I made a mini app store for myself because of course I did, where I can text on Telegram and new Android apps will appear or the old ones will get updated. So anytime I want a new app on my phone, I can just be like, I don't know, a medication tracker or whatever. I can just conjure it in a few minutes and it appears as a fully native app on my phone. So it gets built on the Mac Studio, it gets stored on Mac Studio, and then it gets installed on the Android phone, which is pretty nuts. Of course, I made my own Android launcher. Most people don't know what a launcher is if you're an iOS person. So when I unlock my phone, basically, let me see if I can show you, if I don't have something private. When I unlock my phone, I'm going to my own launcher. There's no grid of icons, and this is fully customizable by OpenClaw. I made an entire video, we can link it on my channel. So anytime I unlock my phone, I see relevant things from my life, like to-dos, habits, medication, trip. The apps are changing dynamically or based on what's happening in my life. And OpenClaw can iterate and build on this launcher even further. So when I want this launcher to change, I can just voice text it, hey, I don't know, the medication, would you change it? And a few seconds later, my entire home screen will change. So this is what I'm saying, like OpenClaw for me changed the game so much that I'm reinventing my entire life. Like I moved to Android, I'm buying hardware, like it's crazy, man. Let's finish like those few more things. This is like for multi-agent management, so I can go to one of my bots and make sure that it has the right skills, the right agents, the right memory, the right blah, blah, blah. So I needed a more visual place to manage my agents. This is the app that I was telling you about that I'm making. It's like a Slack, Discord-like interface for talking to your OpenClaw, but in a more organized way. You can see here we have personal, news, house, contractors, projects, blah, blah, blah. So it's a bit more organized. I hope that I'll have this available for everyone to download. This is the browser I was telling you about. So this is a browser only for agents to work in. You don't use it, you don't touch it, you don't click it. This is a cool hardware project that I did. I have this running on my desk over there. So it's like a face for OpenClaw. And if the gateway dies or something happens, it's going to go dead and it's going to beep to fix it. So it's like a little Tamagotchi OpenClaw. This is my crazy vision of like getting a Roomba and just putting a tablet or a GoPro on it. Okay. So that's a screenshot from Tinker's Club. We do like meeting twice per week, and we have all of these people discussing OpenClaw, self-hosting, automation, LLM coding. When new models drop like Opus and Codex, we hop on a call and we have like a priority meeting, however you call it, to like discuss what's new in. And yeah, people, I think I have a link here and people can even use this code. This was the last slide at the meetup that I gave it to, and there was like a discount code for 20% off. If you want, for your audience, we can give like a specific discount instead of using this particular one. So stop the sharing here. And
Well, Kitze, I don't think if my brain can recover for that.
I know.
Nah, that was amazing, and that's really what I expected from you. Like just all this idea, all this crazy thing that we can build now with OpenClaw and all these possibilities. Like that's what I wanted to share, and I'm happy that you came here to share that, because that's really the vision. Like what's going to happen and what you're already building is crazy. When did you start actually, just to know, like using OpenClaw the first time?
I was one of the first users, but around September, I tried to build, I had a version of my own OpenClaw. I just never connected it to Telegram and shit. So I was kind of preparing my skills and stuff. So when OpenClaw came, I was ready to move my skills from Cloud Code to OpenClaw. And that's why I had so many use cases ready, because I figured out, wait, Cloud Code can be used for more than code. And that's basically OpenClaw. It's like a thin layer on top of harnesses to do AI things for you.
Well, Kitze, thank you very much for coming here. I think we'll have to do that again soon. And
you should come on my podcast so you have a chance to talk, because I didn't learn anything about you and how you do things. So hopefully I'm give you a chance to talk.
Well, I will come then. And yeah, we'll put all the link in the description. Everything you talked about, Tinker Club, of course. And if you want to learn more, go watch his YouTube channel. It will be linked in the description as well. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.